Hey, I'm Lashana Guy, and this is Good News Only, the show where we talk about the stories that uplift, inspire, and bring us all together every weekday at 10:30 a.m. We are recapping the good news only, the feel-good headlines, the community, and the local wins that bring a little more light to your day. And I want to hear from you too. So if something good is happening in your world, a personal victory, a community success, a birthday, or just something that made you smile, send me an email to news25 at wek.com and let me know what your good news is. I would love to share it right here on the show. You can also follow us on Facebook at 25 News, Good News Only, and there you can comment on the videos we post each week. Get personal with Shauna. You can also participate in the conversations we start right here on the show, and send me your good news in the Messenger app. I would love to hear from you. Today's show, as always, is full of good news. Starting with today is National Siblings Day. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I found out this morning. So, happy Siblings Day, National Siblings Day to all of my siblings. I have quite a few, and some God siblings sprinkled in there as well. So I'd like to say happy National Siblings Day to them and you and all of yours. I used to want to be a only child so bad. Just remember looking at my mom as a little kid thinking, how could you do this to me? How could you not think about me and go out here and have these other two kids? But I'm every day I am, and as I get older, every day more and more just grateful for the fact that I do have siblings. My daughter's an only child, and sometimes I feel a little guilty about that. 'Cause I'm like, she's by herself. When I go, because one day I will. She's no siblings, but she has close cousins, and her father does have another child, but that baby is a baby. It's a little bitty thing. So she's grown up by herself. So I worry about that sometimes, but it just makes me so much more grateful. Sorry, Tay, that I do have siblings. That I didn't necessarily need friends growing up because I had my brother and my sister, and I had lots of cousins. But I had siblings to walk through life with. In fact, I'm planning a birthday party for one of my sisters now. And, I just appreciate watching her life and her life's journey and being able to love her children. So it's an important thing. So whether you have biological siblings, adopted siblings, God siblings, it doesn't matter. Somebody in your life that you've decided to call sibling. That's what's important. It's the journey that makes them your siblings. So happy National Siblings Day. How will you celebrate? Now, I'm going to celebrate by saying Happy National Siblings Day. I might have to go for a nice fermented beverage with one of them. But I think I'm just going to tell them Happy Siblings Day. That's it. Okay? We have enough gift giving holidays as is. But this is a very sweet one. So happy holidays to all of you. So we have a couple of good news, local good news stories that we're going to talk about when we come back after the break. We're going to talk about a ribbon cutting. That happened here in Peoria this week, and some good news, goodish news, light at the end of the tunnel kind of news in regards to some funding challenges for one of our local agencies. So we'll take a look at that and more good news after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Good News Only. So, there was a major milestone for Peoria's South Side as the Churchview Garden Homes officially opened after nearly 5 years of development. The new affordable housing complex features 47 modern units offering families access to updated living spaces. Residents will enjoy amenities like in unit laundry, high speed internet, and efficient appliances. A big step forward for affordable housing in the area. I know that should bring some relief. However, I know there's still a large waiting list. Community leaders emphasize that this is the first new affordable housing development in decades for this neighborhood. And despite the progress, demand is still overwhelming, as we just said, with hundreds actually already on the waiting list, highlighting an ongoing housing need. But this is a major step forward. So, a longtime community organization, like we were saying before the break, is working to serve families even as funding challenges continue to grow. Now, this is again sounds like not the best news, but there is good light at the end of the tunnel. The Tri County Urban League it continues to support hundreds of people across central Illinois despite these federal funding cuts. For more than 60 years, the organization has provided vital services, including job placement, GED programs, child care access, and health care connections. Recent cuts have forced leaders to scale back the programming, impacting staffing and opportunities for youth and entrepreneurs. The executive director, stresses that while services may be reduced or limited to certain days, the mission does remain unchanged. The organization's 25th anniversary gala is this Saturday is now critical to help close funding gaps and sustain services. So that's the light at the end of the tunnel. If this news disappoints you, if you are resonating with the mission of this organization, then a great way to help would be to do what you can to attend or to give in the name of this gala this coming Saturday. So there is definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, and that is community. And moving right along to more good news, we are gonna let me change this for us really quick. Okay, and in more good news, look at this. Speaking of community, these students at Simmel Middle School are gaining real world skills while giving back to their community. Seventh and eighth graders are transforming old t shirts into reusable bags for local charities. The project teaches practical sewing techniques like pinning, folding, and pressing seams. Beyond bags, students have created stuffed animals and games for younger children, spreading kindness through creativity. It's so cool. Remember, we used to make pillows. They get to make reusable bags. I think that is out of t-shirts nonetheless. I think that's so awesome. I mean, I have a lot of plastic bags in my house. It's almost overwhelming, but you hate to throw them away, right? I mean, I know they'll end up there eventually, but something has got to give with those for our environment. And I love to see that these students are reusing items that I'm sure they have just lying around at home, or somebody does, in order for them to get this fabric or these T-shirts to then use that fabric to make these reusable bags. So the teachers say it's a meaningful way to combine life skills and community service, especially being able to make stuffed animals and games for younger kids. That's so cool. I'm sure they get a lot of gratification out of that. And this, a couple of them, it's nice to see boys doing it. I love that. But you can see the excitement on this baby's face. He's really concentrating, and you can tell that they seem accomplished and proud of themselves for what they're doing. You can see it all over them. So, congratulations and great job to them. I hope they keep that spirit of giving and community as they learn and continue to grow. And so, next, a heartwarming story is proving it's never too late to reach your goals. Speaking of National Siblings Day. I thought this was a great story and I thought you would enjoy it as well. So, these two siblings earned their degrees after 40 years. Utah brother and sister Stephen Ball and Bonnie Jean Ashby are celebrating a long awaited milestone at Utah State University. Now in their late 70s, the siblings are finally earning their degrees after a 40-year journey filled with family and life responsibilities. And they are so happy. Bonnie paused her education to raise five children and a foster daughter while Stephen balanced work and family life. Both discovered this year that they already had earned enough credits decades ago thanks to a helpful advisor. Isn't that something to be said about what we don't know? You know, like they had already done the work, and Bonnie decided she was going to go and enroll after having enrolled and attended until she ended up pregnant with twins. And she found out she only needed one more credit, but then the advisor stepped in and said, oh no, she's done. She doesn't need anything. So then her brother decided, well, if you can do it, let me see if I can do it. Let me see if I can graduate. Boom, same for him. And now they are graduating. Sometimes you just have to check in. You know, Tay and I were talking about that yesterday. She called a couple days ago, just kind of, you know, how school and working on any goal is, right? But, you know, if you have kids or if you have gone to college yourself, if you have kids who were in college, then you know how stressful that can be, especially at this point in life where they're trying to figure out who they are, who they want to be, and what that all means. So she was pretty stressed out because she didn't think she was doing as well as she wanted to do. You know, imagine that. Some of us are like, oh my goodness, I'm not doing well at all, you know. But she was like, hey, I'm doing fine, just not as fine as I want to be doing. Either way, it was causing her a significant amount of stress. And so we talked about it, came up with some solutions, some places that she could start. And she went and she talked to her professors and found out that she was doing much better than what she thought she was doing, which was fine to begin with. But there's just, her first thought when she talked to me was about withdrawing from the class so she could come back and get the grade she really wanted. And I'm like, no, before we quit, let's really see what's happening. And you never know what you don't know, right? And so it's always good to just go see sometimes. Just go see sometimes. We were talking yesterday in our interview at 1 o'clock with Ray Watson. And one of the things that he said that he would advise, one of the pieces of advice he said he would give to anybody who wanted to start a thing is to just start, just go do it, just go put it out. And he was saying that Prince, one of his favorite quotes was from Prince, where Prince said the best music he ever made was the music he put out. He just released to the world. You know, he made other music that wasn't released, but the things that he tried were the things that were the most successful and his favorite. And so sometimes you just don't know until you try. You just don't know till you go ask. And I think this is a great example of that because Bonnie thought she had to start all over again, but she was willing to do it. And she got there and found out she had already accomplished what she set out to begin with. So I thought this, and brother and sister to be able to do that together, and for both of them to have already accomplished the goal and not even know it. So I think it's double proof. You know, that yeah, it's not just a freak accident with Bonnie. It's a thing. Sometimes you can just go and see. Just go and see, and you'll find that you are much further ahead than you thought. It won't be as hard. So I love that, and I hope you all are encouraged and inspired by their story today. If you know someone, share it with them. Share the insight and the inspiration and the good feeling stories that we share here together because it could help somebody else. You know, maybe you can't use the news, but somebody else can. And I thought this was one that I would share with you. So congratulations to them. The pair will walk the stage together, cheered on by a family of nearly 90 grandchildren and great-grandchildren. That's crazy. That's a lot. They had kids. they had kids coming up. We're going to talk about this emotional reunion after disturbing animal abuse. So I will give you all just a heads up. Some of this is pretty extreme and emotional, but we are not going to talk about anything that does not have a silver lining. If I'm talking about it here, it's with good reason. It's going to do us well. So, there was an emotional reunion that unfolded as a rescue founder by the name of Mark Rulin reconnected with two of his dogs at the Animal Foundation in Las Vegas. So, the animals were among 35 dogs seized in an animal abuse investigation involving a Las Vegas training facility. So, police reports allege that trainer John Johnstone, that's an interesting name, John Johnstone used, it sounds like something that should be in a Disney book, but John Johnstone used abusive methods, including violently swinging the dog you see here by the name of Dottie, swinging her by her leash in the air. Like at one point, she was airborne. You can see that in that picture there. And another employee, Tabitha B. is also facing charges while witness Kerrigan Toms helped expose that abuse. Kerrigan is the one who took the pictures of the abuse and videos of that abuse. And Rulon says he trusted the facility to help the dogs, but now is focused on their recovery and safe return home. Well, goodness gracious, that was deep. But I'm glad that somebody stepped in and said something. It's like if you see something, say something. And I'm so glad Kerrigan had the courage to step up and do that. Because if you'll abuse dogs, you'll abuse people. That's just, I mean, it's a living being. That I'm just glad someone stepped up and said something. You know how I am. I always say I like animals in theory, but in reality, I like all beings. I don't dislike animals. I just don't want to have to be the mama, to it. But I'm grateful for those who step up and take care of those who are most vulnerable in every area of our community. Well, we have more good news only coming up after the break.
It's a mess right now. It's not good. It's not looking good.
Did you find your card?
Oh, I'm sorry. I did.
Okay.
I'm coming. Pull it up, Liz. How much time you got?
3 minutes or 2:42.
Yeah, okay. Because I had court that morning, and then I had to leave. Usually I have to pick up medication or because I did because I yeah that was Monday. Okay, all right. And I'll make up this hour and a half today. Okay. All right. Thank you. Why? I don't know. Just because it's you. Thank you.
Welcome back to Good News Only. So, listen, a group of third graders are celebrating their own ribbon cutting. This was so cool. So what they did was they handmade a paper town called Bearsville, and each student designed and built unique structures from hotels and cafes to even haunted houses. The project was supported by the Siouxland Chamber of Commerce, teaching kids about community development. The chamber representative Laura Hartzman says it's about inspiring the next generation to invest in their hometowns. Students say the project helped them understand how cities grow and even sparked future career dreams. One of the little girls said she enjoys building buildings that serve coffee and pastries. And she meant that with her whole little heart. That is the cutest little thing, the cutest town. I love that the chamber supported this effort and they actually came out and did a whole ribbon so they can experience that and really understand what it means to build something, to be proud of it, and to celebrate it enough that the news shows up and the media covers it and the whole town is told about it. I don't think we celebrate enough, and so we need to learn how to do that. And I'm glad that this school is doing that. You build something, you accomplish something, and it's okay to celebrate it. Congratulations, third grade classes. So, speaking of celebration and building, 360 Chicago has made some renovations. Crews are hard at work upgrading 360 Chicago, which is located atop the former John Hancock building. Workers are replacing more than 200 massive window panes, each weighing around 350 pounds. That's crazy. 350 pounds a window. Each installation takes about an hour, highlighting the precision and scale of this project. The renovation is part of a larger redevelopment of the building's upper floors. The newly upgraded observation deck is expected to reopen by mid 2027. Maybe I'll actually get there this time. I've always wanted to go, but I don't know. Whenever I've gone to Chicago, I just always forget about it and end up doing something else. But this is pretty cool. Well, we'll have more good news only after this break. Welcome back to Good News Only. Well, that's a wrap for me today. Now I want to hear from you. Please go to news25 at week.com and let me know what you thought about today's show. In the meantime, be sure to tune in to the Midday Newscast and meet me back here today at 1 p.m. for more Good News Only. I'm Lashana Guy for 25 News. Have a wonderful day.